It is story time on Kansas Sports Chatter. We get to talk with one of the Acacia staff writers, Rickie Peterson, joining us today. Hey, you were able to hang out in Dodge City this past weekend, Rickie. How did it treat you?
It was awesome. I wouldn't say there was a ton of surprises this year, at least among the top teams in 2A and 1A Division One. But you got to see some greatness, which is always fun to watch when teams play at such a high level cap their careers in really strong fashion. It was a really fun tournament to watch, both of them.
Start out with 1A Division One, Little River getting that four-peat, and like you said, an impressive run for them. And like you could tell right away, like just rolled through pool play, and it just kind of continued in the semifinals.
Yeah, for sure. That senior class, I just don't think that they were going to let them lose. When you look at what they've done over their careers, 162 and 14, 79 and 0 against 1A opponents. That class of Erica Feldman, Adeline Strecker, Evie Look, Havana Olander, Lucy Wright. I mean, you just can't ask for a better senior class. And what's interesting about that group is they kind of had to bide their time a little bit because they didn't play initially that much as freshmen and sophomores. And then when Little River graduated such a great class two years ago, man, that group just really came on the scene. You're like, man, where did this group come from? They're just as good as the girls that just graduated. So yeah, they really kind of took the baton and helped take that program to another level. I did think Centralia gave them they played pretty well in the title match, but there just wasn't a whole lot they can do. Little River is a team that doesn't have a lot of weaknesses you can exploit. They throw this huge block at you at the net, and then they're so good defensively. It's just tough to find holes in that defense. So they end up winning it in straight sets. I think it got to 13-13 in the second set, and then they went on a 7-0 run and really just dominated down the stretch. So yeah, they get the four-peat, and they do it in really dominant fashion.
When you're talking to players and coaches after that match, whether you're talking to Coach Rawls or some of those Little River players, is there almost a sense of relief? Like when you're in that type of position where you're kind of the expected team and then kind of continue on that legacy, did you almost get there's excitement, of course, but also maybe a sense of relief?
Yeah, for sure. That's the first thing Coach Kim Roth said to me afterwards. Is like, man, this is such a pressure off my shoulders to get this done. But at the same time, I will say that they didn't seem like that had much of an effect on them, the pressure. She,
Cool.
she addressed it and said, "Hey, just go out and perform. Just go out and perform. Just do what we do, and we're going to be fine." But yeah, for that is a good question because you wonder, how much that pressure weighs on kids.
Then going to Class 2A, I mean, obviously the dominant factor that, or the fashion that Ellinwood was able to accomplish that and going undefeated. But at the same time, like for them, it was still kind of like a breakthrough moment because they had been close, but just couldn't quite get over that hump. And it was kind of cool to see them finally do that this year.
Yeah, and, you talk about pressure. I think there was a little bit more pressure for them, knowing that this is our year. It seemed like it was
Yeah.
their year from the very get go, and they've had really good teams before, but this one was just a different animal. And I think they did a good job of handling that as well because they turned in a phenomenal tournament. You know that class has such a mix of youth and experience. Um, their two seniors, Kendall Moore and Reagan Widener, just turned in phenomenal years this year. And then they had such a sophomore class that class is just really impressive as well. So it just seems like they had all the pieces this year. And Valley Heights, they were in the title match for the second year in a row, and they have a really dynamic player in Ava Smith who had her moments, but yeah, Ellenwood, they were just too much. they just have too much to deal with. And it was good to see that program break through under Greg Maxwell, who's been a really good coach there for a long time. And I think they're going to be a really good team moving forward. You know, I should mention that Little River and Ellinwood actually played 2 times this year,
Yeah.
and Ellenwood were able to win 2 really good matches in 3 sets, and it's almost like, dang, too bad they can't just too bad Little River can't hang around and dodge a little bit longer and play one more match. But yeah, you know, I think those 2 teams, you don't see much better teams at that level. I mean, just really impressive years for both those programs.
Who do we need to talk to get like a champion versus champion matchup? Remember like the old grand champions they had
Yeah.
like back in the day, like in certain sports? Like who do we need to talk to get that going?
I know. I think the grand champion only lasted in 1 year in basketball. If I remember right, Highland Park played like a 1A school and won pretty handily. But I don't know. In this case, you know, I would say Little River and Ellenwood could definitely hold their own with some of those bigger classes.
Well, what was the setup like for Dodge City and just kind of that format? Keisha, I think a lot of people are really excited about, you know, just a variety of sports that are going to like combining classifications in one site over a few days. Obviously, the split for Thursday and Friday with pool play and then the championships on Saturday. But like, what was that like in Dodge City?
I thought it went well. I like it going to a 3-day tournament to give kind of each class their own, you know, stage and showcase. So I thought that part went well. And Dodge City's just always a really good venue for that tournament. I just love the arena, and you know, it's always good crowds. So I think that it was a really good atmosphere and you know, and really fun tournament to watch all the way through.
Rickie, appreciate your time.
All right. Sounds good, Cole. Appreciate it.
That is Rickie Peterson, one of the staff writers for KSHSAA Covered, and that'll do it for Storytime.